Gen Z podcast. Welcome to the Gen Z podcast. I'm your host, JP Jackson, and today we've got Clyde Schroeder. Welcome, Clyde.
Oh, thank you so much, JP. It's a pleasure being here.
Oh, it's really our pleasure that you are here. So for those that do not know you, who is Clyde Schroeder?
Yeah, so I'm Clyde. I'm actually a social worker. I really have a big passion of what I do. I enjoy working with people. I'm currently working at a rehabilitation facility. Prior to going there, I was also working in Mitchell's Plain for quite a while. And through those experiences and interacting with people, you really see how you can empower them in the process. And that's, I think, my big mission statement is not just to help people, but empower them in the process. So that is the key thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because we're all about growth here on this channel.
Brilliant. I love it.
So how has your family dynamic been? Because I know you guys are very tight as a family.
Yeah.
Would you just want to dive into that?
Yeah, no, I was privileged enough to grow up in a very cohesive and tight-knit family. We were, my mother, my father being instrumental role players, always being at our sporting events or rugby games and school functions, and a brilliant brother and sister, both older than me. And we were always just this great, tight family, and it was so beautiful. And of course, we have some setbacks in life and as a family. So should I?
Yes, of course.
Can I share on that a bit? Sorry that I interjected you there, but my family has been great, and but unfortunately, a few years back, about in the year 2009, I lost my sister, and it took us really threw us off our ball because we're a family that is loving and everything, but then our faith was tested to another level. And through that experience, I was really in a dark space. I started isolating myself from people. I actually couldn't speak in front of people, JP.
How old were you then?
I was about 13 at the time. So primary school, just entering grade 7. I was just really, really in a dark space. But through that experience, Japes, I could see how my family came together. Both my mother, my father, my brother, instrumental role players there in that area, because we came together, we reflected on that experience. Yes, we were still mourning the death of my sister, but together we came and saw how we can overcome that.
Yes, and I mean, that's amazing. The fact that you could use that to bring you guys even closer than what you were before. Like you said, you were already a close family, but that even brought you even closer. Yeah. So, and a lot of the times when that happens, we always think about how sad it makes you feel. And like you said, you guys connected even closer, and that made you stronger as a unit. And something that you actually use for strength today.
100%. And I think we found a lot of peace in knowing that we had a unique relationship. Each of us had a unique relationship with my sister. And that's what kept us together in a sense, because then we could reflect on those unique relationships. So that was beautiful. And as time progressed, we grew. And we grew as a family. We grew in our own right. My brother started flourishing within his field, and my dad also. He's still loving out his passion. My mom, she also flourished. She was a florist, made beautiful flower bouquets, and it was nice. Of course, it wasn't all sunshine and roses. We had our dark times. But it was a beautiful process in which we could just grow together and all flourish within our specific fields and spaces.
And that's amazing. I mean, giving yourself the opportunity to flourish, like you say, in whatever space you are in, is something that sometimes we take for granted, that opportunity to be who you are in a certain space. Because sometimes we constrict ourselves. That you must do this, or you must do numbers, JP. You must do. That's the only thing you can do. Where you have so many other interests that you can explore if you're just willing to take the time.
100%, 100%.
So what drew you to social work specifically?
So I've always had a passion for people. I always loved working with people, and just not only just like I said, helping them, but empowering them in the process. And through high school years, actually, I started developing and forming this passion and feeding that passion a little bit more. And then when I decided what I must study, I didn't even tell my dad at the time what I wanted to study. But then I just applied by myself. And I said, no, social work is my calling. And I think that's my passion. And I always live by this quote, passion fuels purpose. We all have a purpose in life, but what fuels that? Yeah. And so then I went into the field, started enjoying it in first year, second, and that's where we really got exposure. From first year already, we started going into communities, started working with people, counseling, doing all group work. And through that process, you really see how people grow in all facets of their life, where you work with this one individual, but then their family is affected. Yes. Their family benefits from that process. Yeah. And that's what I loved about it. So it's not just, many people view it as maybe just a job, but it's actually a calling. It's really, and it's something I enjoy doing every single day. Yeah. I really enjoy seeing that process, especially in a rehab dynamic. You actually see people coming in the darkest moments of their lives. Yeah. And then seeing how they grow in about 5 weeks' time. So that's beautiful.
So in the studying phase, do they actually teach you the tools to cope with those setbacks? Because especially in social work, you can help the person, send them on their way. But then if they come back in a few months, how do you then cope with that feeling?
Yeah, so we were privileged enough at my institution to be exposed from a very early stage within our studies. So then from our second year already, we got to work with people. And of course, during that early stages, you don't know how to handle. Sometimes you don't know how to separate your feelings and emotions and all of those things. But through constant practice and through constant exposure, you really get taught that skills. And it's something that you don't necessarily get taught in a lecture room, but you get taught from that practical experiences. And I could apply it to my own life, where we start compartmentalizing everything. And especially with my sister's passing, I could then relate that to my own life. Yeah. And then further on with the other losses I occurred within my own life, we could also see that being applied also, and that was quite interesting.
And that's great, man.
Yeah.
So we, in my limited experience of life, I have still a very close friend of mine that had, in a specific period of our lives, started experimenting with drugs and stuff like that. And then it got to a point where I was like trying to get him in a car, moving somewhere. And then we were talking and I was like almost crying, like, why are you doing this? But I mean, I felt like a parent in that stage, which I shouldn't have felt. But I mean, I was just trying to help him. And he was that type of friend that was like, my parents would ask, where's he? Where's this person? Yeah. And then you like ask, then you like not make excuses, but you're like, okay, he's doing this or he's doing that. Do you maybe have any tools for the person that is trying to help someone in that state? Because we always talk about the person that has the illness or is going through that thing, but we never talk about the people trying to help them. Is there something that we could, not so that they feel like they carrying the burden when they just merely trying to help?
Yeah, no. There are various facets or various things that you can do. Firstly, it's important to build trust. Because with building trust with a person, they're more open to listen to you. Yeah. So that is the key thing. And then secondly, is just providing a platform in which you can share to the person how their addiction makes you feel and how it's affecting their relationship with you. Because oftentimes people are very hesitant on sharing that, but it's fine to share that. And then thirdly, to protect or respect the person's privacy. I know it's weird to say, but realistically, we cannot force people to quit. That's the sad reality. We can't force people to quit, but we can be a supportive role in saying, like, listen here, I'm here to talk. And of course, there's also other areas that you can explore. Even at my current work at the Remote Treatment Center, we have this thing where you can call in and then you can facilitate that process. Also, there's groups like NA and AA and all of those places that you can contact because many families, they feel hopeless. Yeah. They feel, because it's not only the person that's in addiction, but it's the family or the friends like you in your experience. The network, 100%. So that's where you need to then branch out and try to make contact with all of these things, by all of these places. But at the end of the day, it lies with the person. And many families, they feel so in a difficult spot because they now feel solely responsible to save this person or this. But all we can do is just be that support.
Yeah, and I mean, from my limited experience as well, the change happened when that person wanted to heal.
100%.
So it never came from me. Maybe it was a seed, but it wasn't my doing. It only really changed when that person wanted to change.
100%.
But that feeling of like almost hopelessness or machteloos was sitting with me for so long that at one point I was like, I'm going to stop this friendship. But like the Here werk moesins so manier, and then it just ended up flipping and coming back into my life, which I'm very grateful for.
Beautiful.
But in that space, it was so tough.
Beautiful.
And I feel like if we can help others have tools, just to do it, then that will be amazing.
100%. 100%. No, very, very true, James.
Cool. So we're going to play a quick fire game.
Yeah.
There's 5 questions. It's either this or that. You just decide which one. The first one that comes to mind, say it. Okay. Koesister or Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, easy. Koesister. All day, every day. What are you even saying, brother? Come on.
It's not terrible, man. Gatsby or Wembley?
Nah, easy Gatsby.
Okay.
Give up for the boykies.
Okay.
Huh?
Which one?
Ooh, masala steak.
Oh,
how you doing?
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, I know the answer to this, but Springboks or All Blacks?
Come on, boykie. I'm a patriotic brother, so Springboks all days. Springbok all day.
Okay. Sloffies or slippers?
Oof. Now, I enjoy my sloffies, I like my I love my sloffies. Really, really enjoy it.
Okay, then the last one.
Yeah.
Voice note or voice call?
Ooh, voice note. I love a voice note. So there's a thing I do. I love like just making like I am on this radio station and I just do this and people love that. So I enjoy voice notes.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to
you. Played an impersonation.
Yes.
So before we wrap up,
is
there one piece of advice that you would, if you could go back, tell younger Clyde? What would that be?
Before I even share that advice, I want to just touch on a thing that I haven't mentioned on earlier, and that is, I know I touched on my sister's passing, but then I also lost my mother.
Oh, yes.
3 years ago. And again, during that time, I was really, really in a dark space. Because your mommy was like the anchor. Listen, Japes, my mom was a special lady because she was the one that was at my rugby games and at my school events with my dad, of course, but she's just a special lady. And even during that time when my mom was ill, I also had this blood clot in my leg. I was also in hospital also during that time. And like I said, my faith was really tested. But in that time, I learned this quote. And it goes like there's a comfort zone being a beautiful place, but nothing ever growing there. Yes. And the reason why that stuck with me still today is because it's so true about life. You need to go through hectic things oftentimes in order to grow, in order to flourish. Understand? So once I made peace with that, I could again apply it to my own life. And to saying that, listen here, one must also not become complacent. I can't become in a comfort zone with my work. I can't become complacent with my friendships, with my spiritual life. I have to continue pushing that idea. And therefore, I want to just encourage your viewers that let us continue pushing and striving for excellence in everything we do. Because in that way, we are growing. In that way, our character is being molded. And that's why I just want to maybe leave you with that word of encouragement, if that's fine.
So you're actually speaking to all of us.
To all of us.
Not just young Clyde,
not as
it's
young
all
Clyde.
of us.
And I would have loved to maybe just reinforce that to young Clyde. And saying that, knowing, especially with my sister's passing when I was still very, very young at that time, where I wasn't maybe sure about life and all of those type of things, just knowing that, listen here, things are going to happen, but our faith in and our character in the process of being molded.
Yes.
And that is the beautiful thing about life.
No diamond is made without being molded.
Love that.
First.
Love that. Under pressure. Very
so that's it. Thank you very much for coming, Clyde, and for having us in your presence. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you know Clyde, and if you follow them. And do you want to give yourself a plug?
Yeah, Clyde Schroeder 10 on Instagram. Give a follow there.
And we out. Peace.